Fox host Megyn Kelly is now leaving Fox News. This is according to NBC. Kelly will become one of their newest anchors because, of course, NBC isn't obviously conservative enough. Now, network spokespeople said that Megyn Kelly will take a triple role at NBC, hosting a daytime news and discussion show, anchoring a Sunday night news show, and being a central part of the network's special coverage of politics and other big events. So here comes Megyn Kelly. Andy Latk in a statement said, Megyn is an exceptional journalist and news anchor who has an extraordinary career. She's demonstrated tremendous skill and poise, and we're lucky to have her. Does this guy understand what journalist and what the word journalist means? Because I don't think he does. I don't think Megyn Kelly really qualifies as a journalist.
No.
Just saying. Now, Kelly, of course, said, "While I will greatly miss my colleagues at Fox, except for, of course, Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes, who is no longer
Did she say that, or is that just your addition?
That's my addendum. Sorry.
Okay, I thought so. I was gonna say there's no way she actually.
No.
I mean, she was like outspoken about
awesome.
that for a day, and then just went back.
That would have been cool. She says, "I'm delighted to be joining the NBC News family and taking on a new challenge. I remain deeply grateful to Fox News, to Rupert, Lachlan, and James Murdoch, and especially to all the Fox News Channel viewers who have taught me so much about what really matters. More to come soon." Now, again, notice how she wasn't grateful towards Roger Ailes.
Yeah, she
For
didn't
good
name him.
reason. For good reason. He did, after all, sexually harass her, allegedly. But, look, so here's my opinion on this, right? I'm not a fan of NBC News picking her up, and let me tell you why, and why I believe that NBC News hired her. Now, it's no surprise Kelly has some pretty conservative opinions, right? And look, that's fine to have an opinion, right? But hers were often not based on fact. There was a lot of race baiting going on, and look, that's kind of what Fox News is about, okay? They exist to push a specific narrative, in this case, a conservative narrative. By hiring her, NBC says, yeah, we don't care about your narrative. We don't care if you lie to achieve this narrative. Go ahead and lie if you want. She's essentially the female Brian Williams. Ouch. Now, look, I think that they hired her not only to get her audience, but also to combat the NBC's too liberal narrative. Because if it's one thing the NBCs of the world are scared of, it's being called liberal. No, we're not the liberal media. No, how dare you call me liberal media? Look, we just hired Megyn Kelly. Look, we also just hired Greta Van Susteren. And look, MSNBC actually hired Greta Van Susteren. Look at us. We're so not liberal. We're actually very conservative, so you should watch us. You should tune in.
I mean, they were taking out full-page ads bragging about how they're going more to the right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like they don't want that, corporate left label at all. Probably because they're seeing that it's bad for business because, the people that are still putting their stock in cable news, I think are mostly just tend to lean more conservative because they're a lot older people. And they watch Fox News or they watch, CNN. And if you watch those brands, you're probably going to be, right or center right. I mean, especially Fox News, you'll definitely be right. And I think the reason a lot of people still watch is because they don't realize their choices. That's why, I mean, the average age, I think it's 68 for Fox and it's like 63 or something like that for MSNBC and CNN. And that's average, which means a lot of people are older than that. And I mean, obviously not all older people are like. I mean, there's older folks that are in that age range that are huge fans of the Young Turks, that are huge fans of Jimmy Dore, that definitely adapted to new media and are probably better with it than I am. But generally, the older demographics are slower to adapt typically. Yep. So,
and look, let's talk about NBC or MSNBC for example. Or for a minute, MSNBC. Remember how they leaned forward, but not too forward, because you don't want to lean too forward, right? Look, don't get me wrong. They did have some rather liberal voices on during the Bush years. Keith Olbermann, before he lost his mind. You had Maddow that was very tough on Republicans. Now she's not really tough on anybody.
Yeah, she's really
now they're more establishment.
Yeah, I mean, she's changed
Yeah.
so much,
Yeah.
and especially
She
this
has.
election season. And she used to be the diamond in the rough,
Yeah.
amidst a lot of corporate media with the stuff she was doing, the approach she was taking, and she's changed.
Yeah, and that just shows how there is no longer, or there really never was, a liberal media. You had a couple of breakout people who were liberal on MSNBC. You had Cenk Uygur. You had, of course, the examples that I gave that are now a little bit more establishment. Not saying Cenk is, definitely not, but look, the network. I mean, this really shows what the corporate media is. And the corporate media is, of course, bias, not liberal bias, not conservative bias, but more of an establishment bias. Now, the
Absolutely.
establishment leans more conservative, though. But yeah, because look, we all know they're giant multinational corporations. So they're going to have more conservative views when it comes to fiscal issues. But when it comes to more social issues, they're a little bit more socially liberal because they actually want to have customers and they don't want to piss off all their customers. So that's
Right. Well, the better way,
Yeah.
I think the best way to say that is they're socially liberal because this country
business.
is fairly socially liberal.
Right.
So, like, they're responding to the public. That's what it is.
That's what a company is supposed to do, and that makes sense. So that's why you can say, these companies who own these corporate news stations, they have this establishment bias, which is just essentially saying, don't worry, guys, we're advertiser friendly. You can go ahead and spend your money with us. So, but again, that's why they're afraid of being called liberal, and that's why this business sense. It makes sense to hire somebody like Greta Van Susteren, to hire somebody like Megyn Kelly to be on your network and to be on some of your shows. Because, hey, look, she's super popular over at Fox News with the Fox News audience. She had the second highest rated show next to Bill O'Reilly. So, yeah, let's bring them in. Let's kill two birds with one stone. Okay, let's bring in this new audience, and let's also dispel the notion, that we are anywhere close to being the liberal media, which actually doesn't really exist. And look, this is why we need more progressive media, by the way. We need media that's independent and actually progressive, because we see where the corporate media is going, and it's heading more to that conservative direction, and that's not where the majority of Americans are, and that's not where our media should be. Our media should be based on actual facts and real reporting and real journalism.
Well, and the corporate media is also sinking like the Titanic.
Sure.
I mean, we're going to see, true revolutionary media. I mean, we already are, but it's just going to keep increasing, which is a great thing.
Mm-hmm. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent, non-corporate media, go to our Patreon page and become a patron. Patreon.com/TYTNation.